This is weird. I haven't done any vlogging or video stuff on cars in probably over a week now. So this feels foreign. I haven't even unpacked my backpacking bag from the trip we took. I don't even remember. In between, yeah, it was before New Year's, in between Christmas and New Year's. Yeah, that's all my stuff. I still have to clean out. Cars haven't been washed, and this one hasn't been washed in a week. This one hasn't been washed in like 3 weeks. Ooh, just look at that. Just freaking look at that. I'm also filming in 4K now, so hopefully it looks better. I know it definitely takes up a lot of data on the computer and takes a lot more time to upload and process on my computer. But I think the quality improvement is definitely worth it. If I can freaking figure out how the orientation for my key. There we go. Just kidding, it's still ugly and red. That does not look right. I really don't think this hood was designed to be used with a hood prop, because as you can see, like, it's just flexing down on this side because there's nothing supporting it. Should probably get hood struts. So I'm gonna start definitely with washing the cars, but just to expose myself a little bit. As you guys probably know, this is an 89, so originally from the factory the power steering was on the passenger side. But when you do the SR swap, you do move it to the driver's side, and I'm running a Chase Bays kit. I don't know if I've ever like showed it up close in videos, but one of the braided lines is literally on the intake, which first of all doesn't look good. Second of all, it's probably raising my intake temperatures. So definitely not optimal. But yeah, I do. Well, the problem with this kit, it's one of the Chase Bays earlier kits. Like, they've definitely improved it, and they've improved the bracket that it comes with now. Yeah, it's definitely not in the optimal spot. That hose was actually too short, so I did have a new custom AN line made for this to replace that one with. It's definitely a lot longer, and it might give me more mounting points. Like, I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do yet. I know some guys will run their power steering reservoir in this area. A lot of guys, of course, do it in the OEM spot here, but I want to kind of clean it up a little bit. Still need to shorten this intake hose as well, just because it's rubbing up on the crank angle sensor, and it's kind of hitting this intercooler piping a little bit, or sorry, cam angle sensor. Yeah, other than that, other stuff I need to do, I definitely need to paint this, just probably black, the battery holder, and then just other little stuff. Hopefully I'll have this engine out soon so I can have the entire bay painted, because definitely doesn't look as cool when you have a nice clean paint job that's baby blue, and you have this old stank red that's like has gunk all over it. But yeah, that's where I'm at. And then other things, I just want to reinstall my strut bar that I've been missing in the rear. And then when I do pull this power steering line, I will have to re-bleed it. Of course, I use automatic transmission fluid, not actually power steering fluid. But yeah, I usually have that on hand, so I should be good to go. Yeah, I'm just gonna wash these cars real quick and then get started with that AN line. Get it off, get it off, get it off. God damn. Don't hit my car. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, so right now I do have the car on ramps, and first thing I'm going to start with is removing my Harbor Freight super high pressure hose clamp that holds the reservoir line onto the pump. Definitely a reliable clamp. But actually, in all realness, it hasn't given me any issues. And over the year that I've had this SR now, it's been like 13 months. Yeah, actually it has never leaked from there. But yeah, I'm gonna undo this clamp, drain the power steering, and then figure out where I can reposition the reservoir. I'm probably just gonna leave it sort of in the same spot. Might move it here, probably not though. We'll see how the hose fits. Okay, clamp is loose, fluid is dripping out. I'm just gonna pull it off now, and hopefully the rest of the fluid falls into that drain pan on the ground. It's a tight fucking fit. I'm gonna loosen the reservoir bolt. Oh, there it is. Now we're dripping more. Yeah, this hose is a really tight fit on the pump. I'm always scared working on this car now because I don't want to bump anything or scuff the paint. I've already done that a couple times, so now I'm like super cautious. And anytime now, I'm gonna put the camera down. So here is the new hose compared to the old hose. Obviously, it's a lot shorter, and I do have a proper high pressure clamp now. Yeah, I need to figure out, obviously running it where the reservoir was is gonna be way too long. So hopefully I can find a better spot to run this so it doesn't hit the intake anymore. Well, this is definitely taking a lot longer than I expected. I've pulled out the intake, removed some of the vacuum lines, loosened all the AN lines on the reservoir, and I'm still having fitment issues as far as not wanting to contact the intake pipe. It's pretty crammed in here. I'm probably gonna have to shorten this hose by a couple inches as well. But yeah, I still have not been able to figure out how to do it perfectly where the hose does not touch the intake like at all. Okay, it's been like 20 minutes and I think I got a solution and I'm pretty stoked on it. So got the intake kind of mocked back on a little bit. But yeah, I actually uncovered another hole in the chassis for a M6 bolt. So I have the reservoir. It used to be mounted down here, and so now it's about an inch higher here. And then so with the hose attached, the reservoir itself will have a hair of space between the intercooler piping and then a hair of space underneath actually of the intercooler or the intake, sorry. So it should be perfect fitment, like literally like a 1/2 inch to 1/4 inch gap from the intercooler and the intake. So I think this is gonna work out. I do need to pull the hose back off the reservoir though, and then clearly shorten it to around here. Looks like about 2 or 3 inches. So I'm just gonna mark that and cut it with an angle grinder, then burn the braided line, or the braided ends on it, so they don't fray. Okay, now with the hose off, I have it marked with painter's tape. I have it marked a little bit longer than I need to because I'd rather cut less first, and then if I need to go back and cut more, but I don't want to mess it up and cut too much. And then I really have no way to go back once I do that. Okay, so I have everything mocked up again. It looks like I do need to shorten the hose just a little bit more because of how stiff they are. They don't give much flexibility or play, and it's kind of pushing on the reservoir to hang diagonally. If I try to flatten it out, it'll then just crunch and hit the intake, which is what I'm trying to avoid. So yeah, I'm gonna take off. I'm gonna probably cut in the middle of the blue tape this time, and we'll see how it goes after that. Okay, so now I actually have everything mocked up with the intake here, the intake hose, like the vacuum hose, no longer contacting the intercooler. Unfortunately, due to the design of the bracket, this is slightly still touching the intake. It's not like completely resting on it like the old power steering hose was, the shorter one down there. But I think there's really nothing I can do about it. I know Chase Bays, so like I said, this is one of their earlier power steering designs. I know they do have a new bracket that's a lot more lower profile, which will bring the actual reservoir closer into the strut tower. And I think with that bracket design, that'll eliminate any contact with the intake. But yeah, right now I think this is as good as I'm gonna get it. I shortened, as you can see what the blue tape looks like now. I did shorten it 2 more times. I was only cutting off like a 1/2 inch at a time, so that's probably the reason why. But yeah, that is as good as I'll get it for now, until if I even decide to get the new bracket, because I never really had issues with it. But I think it didn't look good, and it does, like, just resting on the intake is not a good thing. So I'm gonna try to fix this later on. So yeah, now I'm just gonna bolt everything back together, then raise the car, or the front of the car, and then I can bleed the power steering. And then yeah, everything should be good for today. Strapped in the runway, passing me, living on an area, I just don't know why. Wait until I saw the sun. I don't know why I didn't come. I don't know, man. I don't know. When the sun that's right. Instead of me living in the sand. Okay, so we've got everything tightened down again. No leaks, which is pretty cool. Everything seems to be bled properly. Steering wheel feels great. I had the car lifted, of course, to bleed it with the weight off the front wheels. Then you just gotta turn lock to lock a couple times. But yeah, I did that maybe a dozen times. Everything looking good. Still no contact with this. Again, it's kind of resting on the intake a little bit, unfortunately. But with the other bracket, I think that'll solve that problem. It's not even like the end of the world. Yeah, that is how the car sits right now. So anyways, with today's job done, that'll pretty much do it. I have nothing else going on today, so I should see you guys tomorrow. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out. Bye. Back to reality. Seatbelt strapped in the runway, passing me, living on an area, I just don't know why.